Hello, welcome to another video. Today we're going to be picking my holiday TBR. So next week from filming this, although as you are watching this today or tomorrow, I'm going on holiday. I'm going to Corfu, I'm going with my family, going for 1 week, and I need to pick some books to bring with me. I will be bringing my Kindle, so I will essentially have an unlimited supply and obviously have already bought books on my Kindle, but it wouldn't be right to go and not bring any physical books with me. So I thought together we could try and work out my TBR. Now I've picked a couple of books that I want on this TBR, but the others I don't have a clue about. I could pick anything, so I thought it might be fun to do this partially as like a vlog style video where you come around my shelves with me and I pick which books to bring. So the ones that I am definitely going to be bringing are, so my Patreon pick for May and June is The Death of Mrs. Westaway by Ruth Ware, and I thought I would bring this one with me. The cover is very sunny and yellow, so that's a bonus, but also I just felt like this would be a fun, fast-paced read to bring with me. It follows our main character who basically gets a letter telling her that she has inherited loads of money from her grandma who's passed away, except her grandparents died 20 years ago and she is not the person that is the intended recipient of this letter. So she is trying to scam the people into giving her the money and believing that she is in fact the person that should be inheriting all this money. So I think this is going to be quite fast paced. I hope it has a lot of twists and turns. I think it's going to be a fun Patreon book club read. I believe there's some tarot reading linking in here as well as part of the storyline. I think that's what she does at the moment as a day job. Yes, she's a seaside fortune teller, so it sounds like it's going to be really interesting, and this is definitely one of the books I'm going to be bringing with me. Then I have Foul Lady Fortune by Chloe Gong. This is an arc. This comes out, I want to say September? Yes, September. Very excited to read this one. This is chunky and it's tall in comparison. It's very tall. So this is set within the same world as Chloe Gong's original series, These Violent Delights. This is a separate series, but it does follow Rosalind Lang, who I think was Juliet's cousin in the first duology. So this is set 10 years or so, I think. It's 1930s Shanghai, whereas the first one was set in 1920s Shanghai. I am very excited to jump back into this world because the last book in These Violent Delights duology just destroyed me. It was so good, and it's still stuck with me now as to how emotional I felt reading that book. So I'm really hoping that this book is just as good, and the fact that it's chunky I feel like makes it a good holiday read because I have more time to be able to get stuck into it. Okay, so those are the two books I'm 100% bringing with me. Now I am really hoping for another bit of book mail to arrive before I go, and if this does arrive, this will be the first book I read and the most exciting book I bring with me. So that book is Babel by R.F. Kuang. ARCs have been going out this week. I know I'm on the list to get an ARC, but mine hasn't arrived yet, and I don't know if it's going to be arriving in time, so I'm kind of just desperately waiting and hoping that that arrives, and if that does arrive, I will be bringing that with me. I am so excited for this release. It is one of my top releases of the year. Not only is it set in Oxford, which is the city I was born in and a city I go to quite regularly, but it also follows the art of language and translation, and I find that really interesting as well. So that one hopefully will be added to my TBR, but I don't know if it's going to have arrived in time. So I have my fingers and toes crossed, but at the moment, these two are definites. So I obviously have these two as definites, and then if Babel does arrive, then that will be 3. I think bringing 4 to 5 books with me, maybe 6, is about the number I want to bring, because I do have my Kindle, so I have access to books there, but I tend to read a book a day-ish when I'm away. However, I don't know if this will be one, for example, I read in a day. This one, probably, depending on the nature of the book, I would say. So I'm going to try and pick out, I'm going to go for 3, and then if Babel arrives, I will kind of readjust how many I'm going to bring with me. But let's have a look at my shelves. Okay, I think what's going to make this a little bit tricky is that I don't have a set type of book that I want to bring with me. I don't have any idea apart from those 2/3 that I've already mentioned. I don't know what I want to read whilst I'm away. Usually when I'm in a kind of environment where I'm just sat outside reading and just relaxing and that's pretty much all I'm focused on, I do like to read fun, easy, contemporary type of books. Not exclusively, but I just prefer or lean towards those kind of books within that kind of weather, and the fact that I can just sit and read all day just makes me want to read those kind of books. However, I don't actually own any books like that, really. I am desperately looking at my shelves trying to find at least one contemporary, preferably in paperback, and I'm struggling. I have a lot of literary fiction that are in contemporary settings. However, not quite the vibe I think I'm going for with this kind of TBR. I think I want stuff that is just going to be quite easy reads, just something I can sit in the sun and enjoy and not really have to think too much about. The only thing I can think of that's contemporary that I haven't read yet is Beth O'Leary's The Road Trip. However, I don't really want to bring hardbacks with me if I can avoid it, because that is going to really weigh down my suitcase. It kind of depends on how many books I pick and also how many clothes I'm bringing with me too, which I haven't sorted out at all yet. So if I can, I want to avoid hardbacks. This is my thriller-ish shelf. So I'm thinking I might pick something from here. Something possibly like The Appeal, maybe? Because this is something I know is going to be quite a fun read and quite engaging. This is mixed media as well, which I find quite appealing. But then I've also got something like The Silent Patient, which I haven't read yet, and I did actually really enjoy The Maidens by the same author. I know a lot of people didn't, but I personally did. So these two potentially might be in the running. I really want to bring this one with me. I really want to read The City of Dusk. However, this is a hardback and it's pretty chonky, and I just don't think that's a smart idea. So I want this one to come with me, and I could just get it on Kindle. However, I do already have it in hardback and it seems like there's not much point for me rebuying it, but I might see how much it is in the Kindle shop, because I do really want to read this one. Also, whilst we're here, this one for some reason gives me those holiday vibes. I mean, I'm saying for some reason, it's literally called The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea, and to me, the sea is associated with going on holiday. So this one, whilst it is a hardback, is a lot thinner and lighter versus The City of Dusk. So this one possibly, I'm going to leave all the ones I'm thinking about bringing pulled out so I can have a look at them all when I'm done picking. So there's no specific rhyme or reason to this shelf, but this is kind of literary fiction mixed with some translated fiction mixed with just random choices of books, I think. Do you know what, saying that I don't have any contemporary, I do think that might be a slight lie, because I'm spotting a couple here. Okay, so I do have a couple of kind of contemporary-ish, but they're not, I don't know if they're what I'm fancying or not. So I have Love is for Losers. I honestly can't even remember what this one's about. Phoebe Davis has opinions, most of all that love is for losers, but then she meets Emma and now she doesn't know what to think. It's a hilarious, life-affirming novel about all the big stuff: love, sex, death, family, heartbreak, kittens and kisses that turn the whole world upside down. So really that does fit. What the hell was that noise? Is that a crow? I don't know if you can even hear that, but anyway. So this really probably would fit into the well, it does fit into the contemporary romance side of things. It looks like it's written in diary entries as well, which always makes for a fun read. Maybe this? I also think the cat on the cover is very cute. Okay, maybe that. I also have Jodi Picoult's The Book of Two Ways, which again, not 100% sure on the plot of this, other than I think there's two different journeys this woman's life can go down. I don't know why I got that impression. Dawn helps people prepare for a good death, but when she finds herself in mortal danger, the life that flashes before her eyes is not the one she shares in Boston with her beloved husband and daughter, but the life she left behind in Egypt 15 years ago, a career in archaeology and a man she loved. Oh, I remember this one now. Okay, right. Safe again, Dawn finds herself faced with an unexpected decision to go back home to a world she knows or to try to recapture the world she lost. But is there a cost to turning back time? Okay, so it says in the reviews this is a complex time-shifting romance. This is intriguing to me, particularly because, oh, there are all the noises going on today. Now there's a helicopter. Sorry if you can hear all this. I have my balcony doors open because it's quite hot. So yes, I find this particularly appealing because I do feel like I'm at the point in my life now where I do have this kind of crossroad moment of like, what direction am I heading in? And I think this could be an interesting book to read. I don't know if it's going to be a heavy read. I have no idea. I don't want heavy reads when I'm away. I'm saying this like the other ones that I've picked are exactly going to be light, but I don't want to feel like I'm having some kind of mental crisis and questioning everything about my life when I'm on holiday. I just want to relax and dive into either a pretty immersive good fantasy or just a fun easy read. So I don't know if this one's going to be too heavy in subject matter. I'm going to put it on the maybe shelf. There's no maybe shelf, there's a maybe pile. I'm going to put it on the maybe pile. Okay, I definitely think I lied to you because now I'm in my bedroom and I'm looking at the paperbacks in here. I do have more contemporaries than I expected. I just clearly forgot about them. But there are some. Okay, of the same kind of ilk as the Jodi Picoult book in the way of like questioning where you're going with your life and what your priorities are, I also have Some Kind of Wonderful by Giovanna Fletcher. So this follows Lizzie, who has been broken up with in a situation where she very much expected to get proposed to. So she's left heartbroken and she sets out to rediscover who she was before she was in a relationship and have a little fun along the way. This sounds good fun, but again, I don't know if it's going to be the kind of book where I'm going to feel like I'm questioning everything going on in my own life. And whether that's a good thing or not, I suppose, that doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing, but I'm gonna put this one on the maybe. I do have a couple of other contemporaries that I'm looking at here. Oh, I know one that I wanted to bring. My Family and Other Animals by Gerald Durrell. This is set in Corfu, so I feel like I have to bring this one. I do have this on Kindle, but I feel like it would be wrong not to bring the paperback of it to be able to take a couple of photos on the island whilst I'm there. Sorry if you could hear the siren noise as well there, it's because I have all of the windows open at the moment. But anyway, this one I feel has to come, really. I actually think I bought Call Me By Your Name to bring on holiday with me because it's set in the Italian Riviera. Not that I'm going to the Italian Riviera, but I do quite like to read books set in another country when I am in another country. Not exclusively, obviously, but I do just quite enjoy reading summertime holiday-esque books when I am indeed on a summertime holiday. I would be going in pretty blind to this. I don't know anything about it. I haven't watched the film. I just have got the book and haven't obviously read that yet. But I'm kind of thinking maybe this, because I do think I picked this up in the bookshop to bring it with me. It's also not very long, which means it's not going to take up too much space. So maybe this one. All right, I also have The Lucky Escape, which is another contemporary romance. I lied. I have contemporary romances. I'm sorry, I didn't realize. This is about somebody who gets left at the altar. Yeah, I think she's abandoned at the altar and she ends up going on the honeymoon anyway and bringing along somebody that she's had a chance meeting with, an old friend. So I assume a romance ensues between them. Again, reading books about holidays whilst I'm on holiday. That sounds kind of fun. Also, in the back of my head, I'm thinking for some of these, if I bring them and my mum wants to read any, then I have more options for her as well. That's not like why I'm picking some of these, but I think that if I pick The Appeal, she might want to read that, and also maybe would read this. I don't know. She tends to go for more thrillery things or maybe some fantasy, so I don't know, but I'm gonna put this on the maybe pile. Okay, I have these for the maybe pile. Okay, I have reduced the current maybe pile down to a smaller maybe pile, so I've put some of the books back. So let's go through what's left on the pile. Okay, we're back on the floor. I have 8 books next to me and my Kindle. I need to make this pile of 8 books a pile of 4 to 5 books, depending on the size of the books I pick, except 2 of these books are the ones that I've already said I'm definitely bringing, so I need to reduce the pile. Okay, on the maybe list, we have The Appeal, The Book of Two Ways, Some Kind of Wonderful, The Lucky Escape, Call Me By Your Name, and My Family and Other Animals. I feel like My Family and Other Animals has to come. Like, it does have to come because it's set in Corfu. I bought it for this very reason. Just because I have it on Kindle doesn't mean that I'm not going to want to take photos with the physical edition. So that was easy. Call Me By Your Name, I'm definitely very tempted to bring with me because I did, as I said, buy that to take abroad and I would like to read that whilst I'm away, but I don't know anything about the story. I don't know if I fancy it at all. I should probably actually just read the blurb. So that one is a quite high possibility. The same with The Lucky Escape, because again, that just feels perfect to read as a summer holiday read. I feel like one of these has to go, either Some Kind of Wonderful or The Book of Two Ways, because they are not similar as such, but they do have similar kind of themes. And then we have The Appeal, which is completely separate from all of them. I did actually think I'd pick more thrillers, but I haven't. So yeah, this is now the stack that I have to reduce pretty much in half. I think I'm going to bring The Appeal. I like the fact that it's mixed media. I think it's a little bit different. I've had it on my TBR for quite a long time, and I also think my mum would quite enjoy it. So I've got the option there if she wants to read it, if she finishes the books that she's bringing with her. So I think this one's making its way onto the TBR. All right, I'm sure we're not at all surprised that I'm going to bring Call Me By Your Name with me. This one looks like I would regret it if I didn't bring it. It is set over a 6-week period. It is a summer romance set in the Italian Riviera. They go to Rome. It just sounds like I would regret it if I didn't read it on a summer holiday myself. So I think this one's gonna come. Also, the size definitely works in its favor because it's not gonna take up as much space. Okay, this is the current stack of books definitely coming. This is already a little bit big, but I do have these 3 still potentially to add to it. Okay, I'm gonna put this one back on the shelf. I've decided it's not gonna be this one. Honestly, can't decide about this one. I don't think, what is this noise? I think someone might just be cleaning their car. They're vacuuming out their car. That's what it is. Right, this one, this book. I don't know about this one. I feel like there are better choices I could bring. However, it is set abroad. There's a holiday, but then so is, I suppose, 2 of these other ones, if you want to count My Family and Other Animals as well, for actually just living in Corfu. It's not a holiday for them, but they are living over there, so maybe I don't need this one. So that leaves me with The Book of Two Ways, and this cover for me is screaming holiday, which is not a reason to bring the book with me. However, I have opened it up and there are a couple of interesting formats in here, including some pictures added in and some hieroglyphics, and I think that is kind of swaying me because I think this one might be a little bit different to bring. So I think I think I'm gonna bring this one as well. That's 6 books. I think I initially said I would try to get 4 to 5, did I? I don't know. So this is the current situation that we're dealing with. If Babel turns up, then I think one of these might have to go. I don't know. It depends if I sacrifice clothing space. I'm only bringing 2 pairs of shoes with me and I'll be wearing one of them. So like those are heavier items that I won't necessarily need to have in my suitcase, so I can make more room for books. Who needs clothes? So we have Foul Lady Fortune, The Death of Mrs. Westaway, My Family and Other Animals, The Appeal, Call Me By Your Name, and The Book of Two Ways. Let's take a look at my Kindle. So obviously I'm going to be bringing this with me and it's going to have all of these books on it, but I thought it might be fun to go through some of the books that I might fancy reading whilst I'm away. Okay, I was just loading my Kindle up and I thought I would check to see any of the books that I had on my TBR were in the Kindle store for a particularly cheaper price. Sometimes there's 99p deals. Didn't find a 99p deal, but I did get this one for $3.99, which is a little bit more than I would want to spend on a book that I already own in Kindle form. However, I think that reducing this TBR pile a little bit, well, not the TBR pile, like I'm still gonna have this on my TBR, but reducing the physical book pile a little bit will hopefully help. So I picked this one up as Kindle. I know I said I liked the yellow cover and that it was sunny, but I have the Kindle copy now. So what else do I have on my Kindle that I'm going to be bringing with me on holiday? So I have The Score, which is the 3rd book in the Elle Kennedy series, or the Off-Campus series. I read the first 2 last week, the week before, a couple of weeks ago by the time you're watching this, and really enjoyed them. So I have the last 2 in that series. I should probably buy the 4th one as well, just in case I do read them and want to move on to the next one quicker. So I have those ones. Those are quite good fun. They're quite quick reads and they're just smutty fun contemporaries. I do also have the complete Percy Jackson series on here. Now I do own these physically as well. However, I wanted to get them on Kindle because I want to do a reading vlog of me reading this whole series. I have never finished the Percy Jackson series. I don't know why. I finished the Magnus Chase series. That was fantastic. Percy Jackson I didn't read as a child. I watched the film, but I never read the books. I read the first 2 as somebody that wasn't a child. I don't know how old I was when I read the first 2. An adult or a young adult or a teenager. I read those 2 at some point in my existence. So I have the complete series to read on Kindle. Obviously we have the new adaptation coming out, so I thought it would be fun to do a reading vlog for the series. I could start it on holiday, who knows? I also have Little Eyes. The author names are tiny on these by, hang on, I can't read it. Samantha Schweblin? It's got a panda on the front of it, which is very cute, and I can't tell you anything more than that. I'm not going to be giving you descriptions for all of these books, but just going through the ones that I have. I've also got The Grace of Kings by Ken Liu. This is quite a chunky book. Very, very pretty book in physical form. This is a high fantasy, I think. There's dragons and steampunk elements to it. I saw this one a while ago in Toppings in Bath. Knew I wanted to read it on holiday and immediately then knew I couldn't bring the paperback with me because it's so big. So I got the Kindle version and then forgot about it until I just looked at it. So I do have that one as well. Oh, this is becoming quite a hefty TBR, isn't it? I then have 13 by Steve Kavanagh. This says the serial killer isn't on trial, he's on the jury. That sounds good. I think that tagline is what got me to read it, to buy it. I got a lot of these in the Kindle Daily Deals, so they were 99p, and that one definitely intrigues me. I've also got The Push by Ashley Audrali. I can't read these names, they're very small, but I think that one is also a thriller. Then, oh my god, this name is absolutely miniature. I have The Little Coffee Shop of Kabul by Deborah Rodriguez. It's so small, but I have that one as well. Then, what else do we have? I have Circe by Madeline Miller. So I have not read Circe yet. It's been on my TBR for so long, I keep saying I'm gonna read it. I haven't physically put it on a Fictionary TBR yet, so that's probably the main reason I haven't read it yet, because I'm pretty good, mostly, at reading the books I say I'm gonna read on my Fictionary TBR. It's just when I say it's on like my general TBR that I just never actually end up getting to it. So, I do have the Kindle copy of Circe. I don't know if I'm gonna read it, but I have it. I mean, I will read it at some point, but this is suddenly becoming a very daunting potential TBR. I have Bridgerton, The Duke and I by Julia Quinn. This is the first one, I hope. Yes, it's the first. It's Daphne's story. I love the show Bridgerton, especially season 2. I just thought it was fantastic. And I would really like to read the books now, and apparently they're really fast and fun reads, so I have the first one. I'm trying not to read every single book I have on my Kindle, but more the ones that I got thinking maybe I'll read that when I'm on holiday. I have a couple of bigger fantasy books, such as The Shadow of the Gods by John Gwynne and Daughter of the Moon Goddess by Sue Lin Tan. I think my logic here when picking these was to try and have a varied selection so that if I fancied something completely different to what I had with me, I have the option to read it. I also have Valhalla by Nikki May and The Similarian by J.R.R. Tolkien. Not quite sure if I'm going to get to that one or not. A lot of these, as I said, were bought because they were in 90p Kindle deals. Okay, I think that's all of them. I do have Ice Planet Barbarians by, I think it says Ruby Dixon. There's a badge covering the name. Maybe not Ruby Dixon, maybe just Ruby Dix. I got that one because I was told on a live show one day that it was absolutely ridiculous, and I thought, well, that would be a fun reading vlog, so I bought it with the intention of doing a silly reading vlog for that book. So that is what I hope to do. So I don't know if I would get to that one on holiday, but I think that's a kind of selection of some of the books on my Kindle that I would like to read on holiday. So here's the finished TBR, maybe with Babel if it arrives in time, and then all of those books I just listed on my Kindle. I don't know how I'm going to actually get to all of these. Oh, also this one, but in Kindle form. But it's nice to have the choice. It's Friday the 27th that I go away, so I think maybe the day you're watching this, I haven't quite worked out when I'm putting this live yet, maybe the day after you're watching this, I don't know. I'm away Friday the 27th, away for a week. There will be a vlog coming from my trip. When I first started Books Nest, I wanted it to be somewhere for books, but also somewhere for travel space, and then lockdown hit and I just kind of obviously couldn't do anything to do with the travel stuff as much. And I think before the lockdown, when I was traveling, I didn't really know how to document it properly within my content or what I wanted that to look like, whereas now I have much more of an idea on that. So I am looking forward to making more travel content. So there's going to be a couple of videos centered around travel things and the travel I'm doing over the next week. So I'm very excited for you to see all of those. I'm excited to film them. I haven't obviously filmed them yet. This is my first holiday related video, so I hope you enjoyed this one, and then you also have the vlog to look forward to and a little extra travel with me slash what's in my bag type of video that will be coming as well, so little sneak previews for you there. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you enjoy watching me potentially read all of these books. I don't know if it's going to happen, but I like having the choice and I'm very excited to just have the time to sit and read them. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy, please do give it a thumbs up. Comment down below which of these you feel like I should read first, if you've read any of them, what you think I should put as a priority, any of the ones on my Kindle. If there's anything glaringly obvious that you're like, you will absolutely love it, let me know. I'm really hoping that Babel arrives in time. I've seen people receiving their copies, so I'm hoping it comes, but I don't know. There's fingers and toes crossed. You can also subscribe to see more of my face on your feed, and I also have my Patreon link down below, along with my website that is a shop. It's booksnest.co.uk/shop. I'm selling Instagram presets for you to upload in Lightroom and edit your photos. And I'm also selling Instagram story highlight covers that I've illustrated myself. It's all linked down below. Thank you so much for watching. Keep smiling, stay positive.